Manchester United 7. Yes, can you believe it? 7, Barnsley 0 in the Carabao Cup third round at Old Trafford. I could probably spend the entirety of the video just going through the goal scorers and the people that got the assists tonight. Well, it's funny actually because we were saying before, weren't we, going just want a routine win, get the job done, move on to Saturday. Important game, big game against Crystal Palace. Get the job done this evening and just all focus on that. And Manchester United absolutely got the job done, plus a little bit more. So I'm absolutely thrilled with the result. I think Erik ten Hag will be as well. Be interesting to see what his comments are coming out of the game. I mean, take your pick for who could have been player of the match, man of the match. You've got goals from Marcus Rashford. You've got goals from Alejandro Garnacho. You've got goals from Antony. You've got goals from Christian Eriksen. Just a really well-rounded Manchester United performance. A really well-rounded performance that I think Erik ten Hag will be thrilled with. Not necessarily just because of the score line. I think you'll be really thrilled because players that really did need confidence got it, I think, this evening. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway, apart from obviously going through, is that when the team news came out, people were looking at it going, why is Marcus Rashford starting through the middle? Why isn't Joshua Zirkzee starting through the middle? Zirkzee needs confidence. Zirkzee needs goals, which he does. And it was unfortunate that he couldn't get that this evening. That was probably the cherry on top that was missing from everything in all actuality. But when the team news came out and I saw Marcus Rashford was playing through the middle, I said on the match view that the first thing that screamed to me was Ten Hag just believes that Marcus Rashford, to get back to his best, has to play games. When he had that purple patch a couple of years ago, he largely played himself into form by playing every game, scored goals, including in cup competitions like the Carabao Cup against smaller teams, and kind of went from there. And what we did see today, on the back of from the weekend, when he scored at the weekend, he looked a bit more confident, took some shots, took some people on that maybe he wouldn't have done previously. And we saw it again today, took some people on, took some shots. His second goal, left-footed, kind of first time. Don't think he'd have done that previously. So there's confidence there. Alejandro Garnacho is on fire at the moment. I think when you do actually look at his start to the season, it's kind of been shrouded, hasn't it, in the negativity of United and all of the sort of questions and scrutiny that's come with it. But when you do take a step back and see how he is influencing games, he came on against City in the Community Shield, scored. He came on against Fulham, should have scored, missed an open goal. He came on against Brighton and had the snafu not happened with Zirkzee, maybe the finish should have been better, what have you, but he would have scored, got himself in the position. Everyone played bad against Liverpool. And then the game against Southampton, came on, scored. Today, got 2 goals, got assists as well. So he's red hot. He's on fire right now. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be enough for him to start at the weekend. I do think that him coming on and doing what he has been doing is actually almost going to begin working against him because he's so impactful. But he did very well this evening. Christian Eriksen started in the 10. Knit played together really nicely. Obviously, he gets involved in the goals too. Gets his 2 goals as well towards the end of the game. And it's going to be interesting to see now, does Eric feel more confident in having Christian Eriksen start games as a 10, maybe take Bruno out of the team or rest Bruno? Or do you see what you saw towards the end of the game, which is Bruno come on, maybe go into the 10 role, Eriksen drops a little bit deeper, Eriksen gets goals, and Bruno, I didn't think, again, Bruno played particularly well when he came on, but he still got 2 assists because that's what he does. When he comes on, he creates, and in a game like that, in a moment like that, when he comes on, that is so open, you're playing an inferior team, they look pretty gassed out by that point as well, and very defeated. Bruno can kind of do what he wants, and he kind of did do what he wants. Antony got his goal as well. I don't think it will do that much for him for starting or anything like that, but it gives him some confidence. You've got to try and get something out of him when he does come on in some games. Although, like I said, I don't think that will be at the weekend. But he got his he won the penalty, which was a penalty. Took a very good penalty as well. So credit to him for that. Midfielders, Manuel Ugarte, first start for United, played around 60-ish minutes. Looked really good. Again, it's Barnsley. Can't get too carried away. I know the phone police will be out. You're getting too gassed. You're getting too excited that you've won against Barnsley in the Carabao Cup, blah, 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 blah. What happens if you lose at the weekend? I'll tell you what happens if you lose at the weekend. No one will give a shit about today because it's not ultimately that important, but it served its purpose, which is get through to the next round and build confidence for players that desperately really need it. Or get minutes in the case of Manuel Ugarte. Maybe you won't have the leniency in terms of fouls and bookings that he got today, because he could have easily had a couple of bookings. Same as Casemiro. Casemiro could have had a couple of bookings in that game with some of the tackles that were flying in. But it was a good performance from him, and he'll first start, second game for United, he will get more up to speed, get more to grips with the English game, and he'll learn probably about referees. The only thing you kind of worry about maybe necessarily with him, and maybe actually would be wise to have a Casemiro, kind of put an arm around him and just be a smidge careful about getting that reputation, because once you've got a reputation among officials that you can, you're putting tackles in, or you pick up yellow cards, or you pick up red cards, then sometimes that can be difficult to shake off for a while, and suddenly officials, which they are at the moment anyway, get quite card happy, and that could happen to him. But I think he did well this evening. Casemiro did Casemiro things. These aren't the games that you necessarily judge Casemiro. What you can see is, I mentioned it in the match view, he's got a great pass on him. Still, he's got a good range of passing. From deep, he likes the crossfield switch. He likes the sort of Casemiro special where he hooks it, whips it in. It's just the other parts of the game that are a problem. In games like this evening, it's not an issue. In games that you control the game, it's not an issue. And I think that would be what people would be saying is, those kind of players, if you are controlling the game and dominating the game, and look at the stats, 66% possession. They didn't even have a shot on target the whole game. They had 3 shots. That's what you want to see against lesser teams in the Premier League, not necessarily lesser teams or teams from League One, lower league teams. This is, KG mentioned it on the match view, this is what you should be doing to some sort of smaller Premier League teams. And look, I understand that every game in the Premier League is a tough game. You have to ride your luck. That's how it is nowadays. But I think that's where, fans want United to get to. But that's looking quite far ahead, in all honesty. It's on to the next round. It's on to Crystal Palace at the weekend. But I think, to be honest, they probably got more out of today than I expected. My expectation was like a 2-0, a 3-0. It's nothing too pretty, nothing too sort of thrills. Go on to the next round, build a bit of momentum, and then go on to Palace at the weekend. With this, there's that, and plus a little bit extra. There is a little bit of confidence. There is, those individuals that I spoke about, your Marcus Rashford, your Garnachos, Ugarte, Eriksen, that just a little bit, Anthony to an extent, that little bit of just, bit of confidence they maybe wouldn't have previously. Flex spoke about this too, and it is so true. Getting in the rhythm of scoring goals and instinct finishes, not thinking about it. I'm in great form, so I don't even think about it. If I get a chance my way, put it in the back of the net. That's what those players will need. Now, again, it is different doing it in the Carabao Cup third round at home against Barnsley on a Tuesday than it is on a Saturday or a Sunday in the Premier League, when a lot more people are watching and there's a lot more on the line. But hopefully that is the start of, again, a bit more confidence. So, overall, very happy with that, obviously. Happy to see lots of goals. And hopefully it can continue, because if we don't get the result of the weekend, it's not worth all that much, is it? So these are the games we wanted them to win. We expected them to win. Now, turn some heads. You probably did turn some heads this evening with the scoreline, because when you see 7-0, you go, my goodness. But now it's time to really, really, really make it count and use this momentum for something. So on to the next round. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to smash the like or the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.